Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Break. You are here with Trish and Steve. Steve Bose, how are you?
I'm great, Trish. How are you? I'm glad
I'm
it's Friday.
fantastic. It is Friday. It's a weekend. Yay.
What's on the docket?
Oh my gosh. I need to go to the store after this and buy some Kleenex because it's senior night tonight. And then who's been maybe sick of hearing me talk about football nonstop. Do you have a Kleenex right there?
At the ready.
Oh my gosh, great. You bring the Kleenex. So for all of the listeners, you have been kind enough as my good friend to fly to St. Louis to watch.
Oh, you're talking about me. I thought you were talking about the
Yes,
listeners. I wasn't aware any of the listeners were coming to the game.
You're my good friend who flew here, and you're going to come see Jack and Carly. I'm going to hope this is not the last game, because if they win, then they can go to the playoffs. But if they lose,
I did not know
that's
that.
it.
Okay, there's
It's
a playoff
critical
option.
game.
Fair enough.
Anyway, last
Pressure's
high
on.
school game of their official season. Very unsure. We're feeling positive, but you never know. So yeah, it's an exciting night. How are you?
I am well, Trish. Thank you. It's good to be here, sort of here. I'm excited. It'll be fun tonight. The football is awesome, and it's not as good as say European soccer, but it's good. It's awesome. But
it's awesome. Yeah, it's all good.
I wore my Knicks shirt today in honor of the NBA season restarted earlier this week, and my Knicks won their first game in dramatic fashion a couple of nights ago over the Celtics.
Really?
We're very excited for the season. So yeah. No, it's been good. It's gonna be a good night. So, Trish, I've got a couple of items. I also have a game. Let's save the game for the last part of the show because I think the game is fun.
Oh, okay. All right.
Can I hit you with one item though I was reading about this morning?
Absolutely. We'll see if it's one I was reading about.
Okay. In the next 12 months or so, I always like to quiz you. The next 12 months or so, what do you think could be even more disruptive to businesses than the continuing pandemic? And this was a question asked of CEOs. You're a CEO yourself, Trish. What do you think could be more disruptive to your business? Maybe not your specific business, but to business. Even worse than the pandemic in terms of disruption.
Even worse than the pandemic itself? Than the medical part of it? Is that what you're meaning? Because I'm thinking,
what's the most disruptive external?
I think the most disruptive thing I've heard about is it continues to be the building supply chain issues that companies are having. They're not able to really get a lot of the components of all different things to run businesses. So I would say the supply chain breakdown.
That's a really good one. I probably would have said that myself, but according to a Fortune and Deloitte survey I was reading about this morning, 117 CEOs surveyed, 73% said labor/skills issues were the most likely external issue to disrupt their business in the next 12 months. That's even greater than how many said the pandemic and the ongoing medical kind of situation, which was 70%. So talent and skills, number one, 57% said recruiting is among their org's biggest challenges. 51% said retention. Talent, skills, labor, number one, according to this survey of CEOs. How about that?
I agree with that. It's had me thinking the other day when you were talking about that gentleman though who applied for 60 jobs that on paper he would
that got a lot of press, by the way. Yeah,
across the board and only got one interview. And I just feel like I've talked to several people since then about that story that mentioned it. And these are not people in the HR industry. These are people who have seen, who watch our show, actually on Facebook Live. So hi to our Facebook Live friends. But hearing from a lot of people, like this is common. Like they feel like they're applying for jobs that they are absolutely qualified for and not even hearing anything. And these are from companies that say they're desperate for workers. So I don't know. There's some weird.
Yeah.
There's some weirdness going on there. I mean, I hear and understand what Deloitte and, is saying about these CEOs saying that that's a big problem, but I just don't know. What are these CEOs, CHROs doing about it? Because are they really reaching out to people?
I'm glad you asked that. In the survey, there were a couple of data points about what are the top actions that CEOs say they are taking. Again, this is what they say they were doing. So we'll see.
Right.
But number one was increased flexibility, scheduling, location, where you work, when you work. 80% said they were increasing flexibility. 68% they were re-emphasizing and doubling down on corporate purpose. 68% said DE&I initiatives were being increased. And then finally 65%, these are the top four, 65% said they were emphasizing and investing in employee mental health and well-being. So that's what they say they're doing.
And all those are great things. I'm not saying they're not, but what they're missing is that front end piece. If you're not even getting back to with an answer to every single applicant, my God, at least tell them.
And I'll bet the CEOs that we're talking to in the survey are not aware of that at all, right? They're not aware that that's happening probably in their organization.
No, they're trusting the recruiters and HR people to get back to people. But you know what? We hear this all the time, and it's not just one company here, one company there. All the time. I've applied for jobs in my career where never heard a word. And you know what I mean? If you feel like you've got a degree, you might have a master's degree, you got this and that, and you can't even get a reply. It's so frustrating. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really on the side of the candidate right now. I think these companies, yes, that's great. You're doing all these other things to try and retain people. Absolutely need, DE&I initiatives and all those things. But my God, how about just like, answer the door first, right? Before you expect them to stay inside.
That guy and his 60 applications deal, that really made the rounds. I saw that reported everywhere, Trish. Yeah. I saw it. I can't remember where I saw it. We talked about it a couple of days ago. Subsequent to that, I've seen that story 5 more times from different news.
Well, you know what we need to see is someone who actually a reporter or something that actually goes back and follows up with those 59 companies that didn't think that he was even worth a conversation. Yeah. Because if we're just willing to throw candidates away when we're hiring, shame on those companies.
Well, which is it, right? Are we desperate for talent and no one wants to work? Is it that or not, right? So
yeah, either you're desperate for talent or you're not. Like, don't say you are when you're not. I hate that. So, hey, I have something I saw in the news. I don't know if you've seen it. It's out this morning, and there isn't a lot of information. But Alec Baldwin was involved in a workplace shooting. Did you see that?
I did see that. What an awful story. Yeah, I did see a quick news report this morning about that.
Yeah. So, for any of the listeners who haven't seen it, definitely go look up all the facts. But yeah, he's making a movie called Rust. It's a Western style movie. But yeah, went to fire a prop gun as part of making the movie. So definitely in the workplace, completely accidental. Sure. They don't know what was in it. Something was in it because it killed their cinematographer and wounded one of the directors. So his co-director, I guess. So,
in fact, I heard the story, Trish, and I didn't even really put that in context. You're right. That is a workplace incident, a safety incident.
Yeah,
I mean, I never even think of it that way, but you're right.
Yeah. I mean, that was what caught my attention the most. It was just like, oh my goodness, think of all the times where we have, things that could be dangerous in the workplace. And, if someone just mishandles a tool, right?
Yeah.
You just never know. So they don't know what was in it. Obviously, the police will get to the bottom of that, I'm sure. The other quick weird one I saw today was that Brian Laundrie, who everyone's been searching for, the remains were found. So,
awful, terrible story there all
right.
Around. Yeah,
Again, I feel like some of the stories we hear about, they're just so tragic, but it really just makes you kind of look at your own life and your own people you surround yourself with and just,
hate them?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, but you know what? And I will tell you, I'm a true Libra, and I think you are too. It's like you want to see both sides of a story. And on that one, I think you have to look at both people in that relationship and that they were both kind of having issues. So anyway, if you're out there, if you are in a workplace, please make sure that you have resources available for your employees to call if they need help, if they need to talk to you, if they're in a dangerous relationship. I don't know. We don't talk about that enough, I think, in workplaces anymore. That was kind of a phase years ago. You would tell people about, sort of crisis hotlines and things like that. But anyway, just wanted to point that out, that if you're a listener and you've got any kind of issues, please reach out, get help. And, or if you're with someone who's dangerous, please get help for them. So anyway.
Yeah. Trish, real quick, I know we're running out of time here. Let's have some fun on Friday. It's been a kind of a heavy day here in the news with war for talent and workplace incidents. Let's play a quick game. My favorite game, Trish, I hope it's yours. We haven't played it in forever. It is overrated, underrated, properly rated. Do you remember the game? Remember how the game works?
I do remember the game. Okay, overrated, underrated, properly rated. Got it.
I'm going to fire out quick, and you just go. You ready? Number one.
Can I just tell you I like it because I don't have to guess numbers?
Right. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. You ready? Okay. Crocs.
Oh, underrated.
Agree. Underrated. The movie Home Alone, original Home Alone.
I feel like properly rated. It's loved, right?
I'm going overrated. I don't think it was that great.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Pumpkin spice anything. Pumpkin spice.
Overrated. Overrated.
Absolutely right. Overrated. Something we talked about on the show this week. Squid Game, Trish. Squid Game.
Underrated, not properly rated. Oh my gosh, can I just tell you on that? I finished it last night. My lips are sealed. I'm not telling anybody anything other than go watch it. Oh my gosh. Cliffhanger, like I'm really bad. I will just say I'm really bad at like guessing movie endings and so forth. So wow, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay, a couple more real quick. Going on strike. There's a lot of organizations, unions, and other places. A lot of people going on strike in America right now. What do you think about going on strike?
I think it's overrated, but I'm saying that as someone who's only worked for a union once in my life. And I felt like, I can only speak for me, but being part of a union for me, I did not like the lack of control of myself to negotiate for myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying overrated. But
Yeah,
if you are someone who doesn't want to negotiate for yourself, I can absolutely see why.
Strike activity is really, really going up in the States. Okay, a couple more real quick. Candy corn.
Properly rated. Love it, hate it. I don't know.
Probably overrated. Okay, last one for me. Back sort of our industry. I saw a little news report on this. Magic quadrants or any other version that big analyst firms put out where they make a chart or a grid and they put company names on it and try to help you understand things.
I think they're overrated because I will say this. I think it's nice if you have a partner you work with and they give you some format where you can easily understand information, thumbs up. I don't care if it's a this or that or the other thing, right?
I only thought about that because I saw in the news this week, one of those types of things came out and it was like big company HR systems and the top three were, Oracle, Workday, SAP, say, right? Whatever. UKG might have been in there too, top four. And I thought to myself, how many thousands of dollars, potentially millions of dollars were spent putting that thing together when someone could have called me and I could have told them in 3 minutes for free, here are the four companies in the top corner.
There you go. Right. I mean, that's just it. I think, if you're someone that 20 years ago needed that help, a quadrant or some sort of wave or this or that was probably a great thing. Nowadays, information's everywhere. I think you could go on TikTok. Maybe we need to start that trend, TikTok analysis of HR systems. I don't know. I think I'm going to do it because.
All right. Get on it.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. So anyway, have a great weekend. Catch up on Squid Games. Thanks to everyone for listening and hanging out with us all week. We love you. We will see you back here on Monday.